Hello, hello, hello. Hopefully you guys can hear me pretty well. How's it going? Yeah, hold on, let me show you my face. Hello. Um, you can kind of see... There we go. Hopefully that isn't too bad. Looks like the audio should be good from that distance. Okay, we are live, and we are chilling like a villain. Whew, man. This week it's been pretty crazy, honestly. Not gonna lie. Crazy in the sense, like, there's a lot of shit going on, but also, you know, as you may or may not know, I'm a big football fan, so the Browns are playing today, and, you know, I'm gonna be watching that later. But yeah, we're chilling. Yeah, there's obviously stuff to talk about, but before we get into all that, hopefully you guys are doing well. I'm doing fine myself. You know, I made this coffee here, and for the first time ever, well, actually, let me show you my cup first. My wife got me this cup. It's pretty awesome. And it also insulates the heat pretty well because the other cup that I had was, like, obviously just a regular cup. And, you know, it didn't insulate the heat as much, so it got cool pretty quickly. So I had to deal with that. But this is, like, made of metal or something, I don't know. But it's nice, very nice. So, but anyway, the thing I'm doing for the first time, I put whipped cream in this. Because why not? I'll try it out. And, yeah, I don't know, we'll see. I took the first sip and it burned my tongue, so that's gonna be, my tongue's gonna be burnt for the next couple days now. I always tend to do that. I get my eyes are spraying me. Make a glasses on. I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep these on because, well, we'll see. Because it, like, hurts my ears, you know, whatever. Yeah, I don't know if this is going to work. Oh, okay, well, yeah, so today I'm getting a tattoo. Later at like 5-ish. So that's gonna be fun, but unfortunately it's around the time that the Browns game's on, so see. Yeah. I'm gonna be watching it, you know, hopefully I get reception, but I'm gonna be watching on my phone on YouTube TV. So I'm gonna be doing that while I'm getting a tattoo. I'm getting a tattoo of a dagger with a snake around it and a rose. That's gonna be cool. It's gonna be on my calf, that's the intent, but I might get it somewhere else, I don't know. I already have 2 tattoos right here. I want to save, like, room on this arm to maybe get, like, a sleeve or something down the road or something that's, like, all one design that goes all the way down my arm. But not only is that expensive, it's probably very painful to go through that whole process. Now, you do it obviously in steps, but still. Yeah, so probably will get it on my calf. And that's about it. Actually, you know what? Now I'm interested in, like, what designs are out there. I'll share with you guys. So let's see. This one looks kind of cool. Sorry, I'm just trying to fuck with that. Yeah, that's a cool design, I think, right there. The one I'm getting, I think, was one of the ones that was on the wall that looked really nice. So, this is gonna have to be like a, you know, something else cool. That's not, well, that's low res, so it's hard to see, but that's not terrible either. Why is this all low res? That's kind of cool, but it's not American traditional. Let's see what else. This is kind of cool too. But that is like, there's a lot going on in that tattoo. Dog, that's... I don't know if I like that. I don't know. That doesn't look too great to me. Dude, where is my... Oh. There it is. Shit. That was my bad. Oh. Sorry. I just want to have the chat up, just to have it up. Okay. Alright, what else we got here? I'm not gonna look for too long. I just want to take a peek. A quick peek over here. See, I don't really like the curved dagger. I like it when it's like, I like it when it's straight. I don't like the curve at the end. Oh yeah, they have some variations too, where it's not, it goes through a skull too. I'm not gonna get that. That's not what I'm gonna have. This might be, like, the tattoo I'm about to be getting, might be like one of the coolest tattoos I've gotten so far. I can share. Hold on. This last one I got recently was pretty cool too. How do I share this? Yeah, right here. That's pretty cool. I forgot what this thing is called. I think it's called a planchette or planchet or something. It's a thing you use to read Ouija boards. I think that's pretty cool. But this one I'm about to get is going to be obviously larger than that. It may not be huge, but it's going to be really nice, I think. Well, anyway, that's what's going on there. Later today, I'm going to be getting that tat on my body, so we'll see what happens. Okay, so what is going on in the world, huh? What has been happening? There's golly, well, there's been quite a bit. So let's start with this that I literally just saw this. Sorry. So there's this thing that happens sometimes where like, okay, there's this thing that happens sometimes where like I'll see a post and it's like, it's hard for me, it really gives me the sense that there's like a psyop happening, because with this here, like, this really does feel like a conservative trying to paint feminism as like really fucking bad. And honestly, I don't know the historical precedents for like people pretending to be part of a group or entity and purposely feeding into the stereotypes that are shrouded out by the opposing ideology. But like with this, it's like so fucking stupid. Yeah, I don't know. Like, when I think of like personally what's feminism, and to me it seems like it fundamentally is a ideology predicated on the equality between the sexes. Obviously, women have historically been on the short end of the stick with that, but you can advocate for men's rights as well without it teetering into fucking bad territory, I guess. And women deserve as many rights as men, and vice versa, whatever the case may be. So yeah, that's my opinion on the feminism thing. Well, I guess on this person's weird. The ethereal femme. Oh, they're a rad femme. Well, I guess they are wearing that shit on their sleeve. Pornography should be. They fucking pinned this. Okay, this is definitely a psyop. There's just no shot. They pinned it. This is like a pin. This is like something they want every person who clicks onto their profile to look at. Liberal dickhead screaming that TERFs aren't feminists is the same as them always saying that trans women are women. Both things aren't true. What? This is like comparing apples to oranges here, because TERFs, I mean, the way feminism has evolved culturally and ideologically over the years has been a stark, difference from the behavior and such from TERFs. Like TERFs, you can make an argument that TERFs aren't actually feminists, given their attitudes and behavior towards gender issues. What is happening? I spend the majority of my time playing on misogynistic males, regardless of what they identify as. You're not a feminist. You're someone who lets males do and say whatever they want, as long as they can call themselves a woman. So this person, like, okay, they're just a TERF. Got it. It's just amazing to me that it's the same talking points all the time. There's no evolution of these people's beliefs or anything. It's always the same shit. It's the fact these morons really think women are too uncommon. Okay. Fuck trans activists and fuck the hands made them it's so. And also what's obnoxious too is the fact that people will post obviously inflammatory or controversial things, and then they're like, oh, I made this group of people mad. Uh-oh. Like, it's so frustrating. Feminism is not an egalitarian ideology. This is a factually incorrect statement. Misogynistic Misogynists really want women to... So, presupposing SDL is a misogynist, which I don't believe he is. And I've been following him for a while now. Yeah. Misogynists really want women to fight for others, but not themselves. I don't even understand what the point is making. Well, I guess they got the attention that they were seeking out. I guess good on them for the bait. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, man, the shit I've been seeing on Twitter lately has been wild. Or X. It's been, So, okay. Hold on. Ever since October 7th, I have never seen... I've been on Twitter, I've been in the political space for like 5 years now, honestly, because 2019 I've been like actively involved in political, online shit. I've been for a while, half decade, and I, honest to God, okay, have never seen the left act as deranged as they are with Palestine than ever. Like, I've never seen the left as deranged like this deranged before. It's unbelievable. You have, like, I'm just like looking at this timeline here, like, it's crazy the amount of people. Like, it's one thing to defend the Palestinians, okay, because there's a lot of historical beef between Palestinians and Israelis. There's a lot of beef between the two, and there's a lot of context and all that. Yeah. I honestly, my cursory understanding of Israel-Palestine is essentially that both sides have done fucked up shit to one another. Palestine, or Hamas rather, doing the attack on the 7th was really bad, obviously, both for people living in Israel as well as people living in Gaza. And as a result, the retaliation from the IDF and Israel and stuff, at first proportionate, has now probably teetered into a disproportionate response. But putting that aside for a minute here, like, I can understand the left sympathizing with Palestinians, but, like, we are 15 layers deep underneath the Earth's crust at this point, because they are at a point where they're defending the Houthis, and it's not just like tankies. It's like progressives, like actual progressives. Hold on. Man, yeah. So it's been wild. So let's get into like what's going on with Houthis, I guess. Is there a? Yes, there is. We're gonna bust out our old friend that triggers the fuck out of Marxist-Leninists and fascists alike. We're gonna use the best source available to us. Okay, wiki.com. Excuse me. So, just to give you a brief, I read this before stream too, but we'll just go over it. On the 19th of October, Yemen's Houthi movement initiated a series of attacks targeting southern Israel, and the ships in the Red Sea it claimed were linked to Israel. So this is the area for which conflict, I believe, erupted. Right around that area between Yemen, these countries I cannot pronounce and won't try to. So during this like war between Israel and Hamas that's taking place, and it's still taking place, the Houthi movement in Yemen aligned with Hamas, launched attacks targeting Israel. They employed missiles and unmanned aerial vehicles, some of which were intercepted by the IDF over the Red Sea using aerial missile defense system. They have also fired on merchant vessels of various countries in the Red Sea off the coast of Yemen, a choke point of the global economy, precipitating the US-led Operation Prosperity Guardian. So let's look into that separately for just a brief moment here. Following the breakout of the... Well, Prosperity Guardian is a United States-led military operation by a multinational coalition formed in December of 2023 to respond to Houthi-led attacks on shipping in the Red Sea. Got it. So that's just a brief overview there. Houthi military spokesperson Saira announced that any ship destined for Israel was a legitimate target, and that they will not stop until the Gaza Strip is supplied with food and medicine. Ships not destined for Israel has also been targeted. This group, essentially, based on what I've read about them, is a fundamentally, they are anti-Zionist first and foremost, okay? Their fucking slogan is, a curse upon the Jews, and victory to Islam, and death to Israel. Like, this is not like a... This isn't like fucking, the Wall Street protests or whatever. This is like arguably a terrorist organization, with what their outline is, like, you know, we can get into the history in a moment, but to not sidetrack too much here, the Houthi movement is a Shia Islam militant organization which controls northern Yemen and is supported and funded by Iran. Interesting. So Iranian support. Okay. This is like this is a fact of reality. It's not a speculation. It's not nothing like that. This is a fact of reality that Iran has supplied weapons, money, and training to the Houthi militia. Exactly, which actually makes sense because Iran is geopolitically opposed to the interests of like Saudi Arabia, right, and Israel. Exactly how much support Iran has given to Houthis has never been clear. Sunni countries in the Gulf accuse Iran of interference. Okay. Reuters has details from Yemeni, Western, and Iranian sources of Iranian military and financial support to the Houthis before and after the takeover of Sana'a on September 21st. A senior Houthi official denied there had been material and financial support, but the assertion still, I don't know what the purpose of denying it would be. If it's, I don't know why they would even try to deny it, but the assertions are still likely to reinforce Saudi and Western fears that Iran is exploiting turmoil between Sunni and Shiite Muslims in Iraq. Okay. Interesting. So it is a fact of the matter, not a speculation. Where was I though? Oh, yeah. It reportedly served as Iran's proxy in regional wars. Okay. In August 2018, a United Nations document had revealed that the movement is also supported funded by North Korea via Syria after a meeting between... Okay. So the events themselves, from what I've read... one moment. The events themselves, we can look real quick. This was a while ago. This was October 19th, and maybe I've even covered it in one of my earlier streams. The United States destroyer USS Carney shot down 3 land attack cruise missiles and several drones heading toward Israel launched by the Houthis in Yemen. On the 27th of October, this is basically outlining... These paragraphs are just outlining missiles being shot toward Israel or toward the United States, but were subsequently shot down. On the 6th of December 2023, the Houthi movement launched several ballistic missiles at Israeli military posts in Eilat? Okay. On the same day, USS Mason shot down the drone launched from Yemen. There were no clear indications of what its target was. On the 10th of December 2023, the French Navy's frigate operating in the Red Sea intercepted 2 drone launched from Hodania, the Houthi-led port. The U.S. Navy reportedly shot down 14 drones. So they're just sending a bunch of shit left and right. Even the Egyptians are getting into this action, I guess. I mean, okay. On the 18th of December, the Indian Navy stationed the destroyer INS Kalak. I'm not even going to try. The Indian Navy stationed their destroyer in the Gulf of Aden for maritime security. The destroyer was already deployed in the region to counter Somali pirates, although the government of India remains silent about its involvement in Operation Prosperity Guardian. On the 26th of December, Houthis said they carried out drone attacks on Eilat and other parts of Israel. The U.S. shot down 12 drones and 5 missiles fired by them, and the IDF said they also shot down a projectile launched from Yemen targeting Israel over the Red Sea over the coast of the Sinai Peninsula. Okay. So this month, on January 4th, just hours after the warning, Houthis launched an unmanned surface vessel towards the U.S. Navy and commercial vessels. Commercial vessels, keep that in mind, remember that later. But it detonated well over a 1 nautical mile from the ship. These people are, man, their military capabilities. It's so interesting too, by the way, because like I saw this post, basically, and I can find it really quick. I saw this fucking post here. Yeah, this one, dog. Okay? Holy shit. This motherfucker... Look at that. Look at this. They don't follow your movies or TV shows at all. They are not bothered by your media. Psychological warfare is utterly useless against them. They are natural-born fighters. The last will and testament passed down from their ancestors to liberate Palestine. Their life goal has been to fight America. The way they're fucking describing it is like they're passionate warriors of the fucking... Like, they're ODST fucking troopers fucking landing on Reach, ready to, like, eradicate the fucking invaders or something. And these motherfuckers, apparently their military capabilities is so fucking terrible that it can easily be shot down by these ships, as well as it just like the fucking technology doesn't seem to be there for that. Like, this is crazy. you can't hype them, like, you can't hype these people up as if they're, like, they're going to be a formidable foe, and their shit is fucking apparently not even, like, technologically advanced enough to reach their target. On the 7th of January, the Houthi movement stated that retaliatory attacks against the U.S. Navy would continue unless the U.S. hands over the Navy service members who killed the 10 Houthi attack boat personnel for them to stand trial in Yemen. Now, keep in mind that this is referring to the first blood that was shed in this conflict here, which, by the way, these people who were killed were the ones to initiate the conflict. They were the ones who they were the ones who to initiate the missile fire as well as the drone strikes and all that shit. They were the ones to initiate the conflict, and now they want, just crazy demands there. On the 10th of January, a large-scale attack was initiated by the Houthis against USS Dwight D. Eisenhower. This is this ship is like one of the largest ships, I think, in the U.S. Navy's arsenal. Pretty sure. Yeah, but it's certainly, I think it's one of the oldest anyway. On the 12th of January, the US and UK conducted airstrikes against over a dozen Houthi targets in Yemen with the support of multiple other countries. Okay. Just hours after the group's leader vowed that any Americans' attack on its forces would not go without a response. The strikes were the first time Houthi targets in Yemen were targeted since the beginning of the Red Sea crisis. According to Shaira, 73 strikes killed 5 Houthi fighters and injuring 6 others. So this is the context that initiated the conflict itself. So there was a transporter, Galaxy Leader, that was hijacked by Houthis. There was 25 individuals on board. The empty car transporter en route to India was boarded using it. The incident followed the statement by Houthi spokesperson Shaira on the group's Telegram channel declaring their intention to target ships owned, operated by Israeli companies, or carrying the Israeli flag. According to the ship's owner, the vessel was then moved to the Yemeni port. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. Shaira also urged countries to remove the citizens from crews of such ships. Earlier, Houthi leader had threatened to further attacks against Israeli interests, including potential targets in the Red Sea. Okay, right. So, a Liberian-flagged oil tanker was seized off the coast of Yemen in the Gulf of Aden. It carried full cargo of phosphoric acid with 22 members, consisting of Russian, all these different ethnicities, none of which, by the way, were Israeli, or actually even Western aligned at all. The destroyer USS Mason, also with a partner country, conducted a visit, board, search, and seizure operation that facilitated the release of Central Park and captured the hijackers. The ship was not unarmed. The 5 hijackers all suspected Somali pirates. Okay. On the 12th of December 2023, the Houthis launched an anti-ship cruise missile attack against a Norwegian commercial ship, Strenda, an oil and chemical tanker operated by the J. Ludwig Company, while it was close to the... Okay. God, there's so many words. So this ship was carrying palm oil. It was... Okay. This has nothing to do with the... This has nothing to do with serving the interests of Israel. It was carrying palm oil. It was going from Malaysia to Italy. So it wasn't even going to head its way to Israel. On the 13th of December, Houthi rebels attempted to board another ship. This was going to the Netherlands apparently, but failed, prompting a stress call from the ship. They then targeted the tanker with missiles, which missed. The USS Mason responded to the tanker's distress call. On the 14th, Houthi launched more missiles, which missed its target. On the 15th, Houthi spokesperson claimed responsibility for attacks of 2 Liberian flag vessels. The Houthis fired naval missiles at the ships that they alleged they were traveling to Israel. Is there any like evidence that these are like going to Israel? Jesus. So they're shooting down more drones, also targeting more commercial ships. They launched another attack targeting 2 cargo vessels, the MCS Clara and the Norwegian-owned Swan Atlantic. The Swan Atlantic's owner, Inventor Chemical Tankers, said its water tank was damaged, and the attack it denied has any Israeli ties. So they're just targeting random fucking ships. Full stop, basically. Oh yeah, I saw this too. This was yesterday. They targeted this Russian crude oil based on outdated information linking to the United Kingdom. A missile was fired near the vessel as it sailed off the coast of Aden, causing no injuries or damage. 3 small boats also tailed the vessel for over an hour. Possible war crimes. The Houthis have claimed that they would target ships regardless of whether the ships contain any military targets, which according to the Human Rights Watch would constitute a war crime. The HRW also noted that the detention of captured crews could be considered a hostage-taking if they detained to compel a third party to do or abstain from any act as a condition for the hostage's release or safety, which would be a violation of international humanitarian law and thus a war crime. So the impacts have basically been insurance costs for commercial ships that go through the Red Sea have increased. Israeli ships have seen an increase of 250%. It's also had an impact on local trade, with commercial shipping to the port having almost completely ceased. So instead, commercial ships coming from Asia to Israel, as well as some commercial ships not destined for Israel, have started to go around Africa, which makes the journey around 3 weeks longer while increasing expenses. On the 21st of December, the chief executive of Elia Port said that the port has seen an 85% drop in activity since Yemeni attacks on shipping in the Red Sea. So they're taking the safer route. Alright. It does, yeah, obviously it takes more power, manpower, as well as, yeah. Okay, so this is essentially an open and shut case of, like, there's a clear good and bad guy in the situation. It's quite evident to me that, the Houthis are in the wrong here, and actually conducting a military operation is perfectly understandable. Because I think you need to realize that the disruption of maritime trade is a major issue, because it's not like it's a matter of preventing shit going to Israel. You are essentially stymieing the entire world economy. This has like large ripple effects. across the entire world. And this is they're not just targeting things tied to Israel. They are targeting everything. They are targeting things just because it is in the vicinity of Israel, which is obviously ridiculous. But this leads us to the left. So that's, yeah. Okay. Yeah, so what I have been seeing on Twitter lately has been, whew, man, it's been rough. And it's not just, like, it's not like just tankies or anything. This is like a wide-scale fucking thing. Like, look at this shit, man. Like, look at this shit. It would probably help if I, Notice that even in America's telling of events, Yemen's blockade has been bloodless. Okay. The complaint now being answered with American bombs, is weeks of delays in shipping times. Yemen's non-violent efforts to stop a genocide is met, unsurprisingly, with... This is honestly an unfathomably... It's just a crazy thing to say. It is something that a crazy person would say. The fact that launching missiles and drones is being described as non-violent is unbelievable. And not only that, though, to stop a genocide, when some of the targets from the Houthis, including the commercial tanker Swan Atlantic, the Norwegian tanker Swan Atlantic, that wasn't even going to Israel. It has nothing to do with Israel. They targeted a fucking tanker that was transporting palm oil to like Italy or something. This is unbelievable. This is like a fever dream. Like, how can you possibly be this detached? I mean, it really does show that, like, when presented with reality, like, the thing that trumps everything else, okay? The thing that trumps everything else is narratives and just ideology. That's what it is. Because that trumps your... Like, to describe this as nonviolent, come on, that is absurd. This is an absurd statement to make. Man, it's not even just that, though, like... Horrible luck that the Americans would intervene now. Gaza might have just been... This really pissed people off. Gaza might have been saved had the Houthis been able to fire a salvo of missiles at just one more random... Emma is, honest to God, one of the worst people I've ever met. Like, well, not met, like, one of the worst commentators on politics I've ever seen in the space. Which is saying quite a lot, considering how fucking retarded many people are. But she's certainly up there, man. She is certainly up, because... I mean, just read this. I don't know, dude. Feels like it's a pretty open and shut instance of regional group. By the way, I love how this is being framed as regional group exerting its power. It is... if this was on the other foot, and it was like if it was some fucking Western aligned group preventing or if it was like on the other foot, okay, she would rightfully be upset about that 100%. To describe the Houthis as a regional group exerting it, like, you are purposefully at that point underselling their who they actually are and what they do and how they've garnered power and all that shit. Like, you can... A much more accurate way of describing them would be a terrorist group. Regional group exerting its power to disrupt the flow of commerce and put pressure on Israel. Putting pressure? What are you talking about? Yeah, insurance rates have gone up, but like, they're gonna get fucking squashed by the United States and the UK. Like, it's not sustainable at all. It's gonna take more resources, I guess, but they're like stop them. But like, they're the fucking Houthis, okay? The attacks halted during the pause, putting economic pressure on countries doing a genocide. And this is just incredible to me as well. Like, just everything about this framing here is so obviously just skewed. First and foremost, regional group exerting its power. That's a really weird way of describing it. It's like a completely deliberate obfuscation at that point, because you could fairly call the group, the Houthis, a terrorist group, but that's not how they're described here. And the claim that they are putting economic pressure on countries doing a genocide, I mean, no, because they're targeting just random shit that has nothing to do with Israel as well. It's just so fucking dumb. Like, I don't know. And like this shit too, man. The fact that like we can anytime a country or a group is like targeting a nuclear power, like with militarily, this apparently gets blown up into World War III. The end is nigh. America should withdraw. They shouldn't do anything. Like, it's honestly crazy. Like, does Siesta Socialists really expect the United States and the entire world to just be like, oh no, the Houthis, they're disrupting the Red Sea. Like, we're just gonna let that happen. Now we're not gonna fund Israel. Like, you are fucking deranged if you believe that to be the case. And I love how the onus is on America, apparently, to withhold initiation of violence, as opposed to the fucking Houthis who started this entire crisis. I don't know, man. Crazy fucking shit. Oh. Yeah, dog, I saw this too. Oh, we'll just take a look. You know, Jesus. If it loads. It might not load, actually. It's crazy. Yeah, man, I saw that. This was, man, I'm getting triggered already. Okay. Let's take a look. I saw this, oh man, this is fucking insane. So, Victoria, made a post here, basically saying, I don't give a fuck. So this tweet here, I think this tweet, like, it's not like some random fucking person. Like, well, I guess anybody's a random. Like, it doesn't really matter though. But like, she made a quote tweet of this person saying, "I don't give a fuck about this boycott. I'm gonna keep buying Starbucks." Okay, you're well within your right to do that. And the response, like, man, it's honestly so disheartening. How the sun emoji, an emoji that has been used to commemorate the tragic death of a young trans woman, is always branded by the worst kind of people. This is insane to me, because like, to describe somebody who is not participating in a boycott against a company that is not even funding Israel or has any stores in Israel, has no relationship to Israel, is somehow being considered by considered, quote, the worst kind of people on this app. Are you are you genuinely this deranged? Not buying Starbucks puts you within the category, within the box of, quote, worst kind of people on this app? Are this is like next level fucking crazy shit. You are I don't even know, man. I legitimately don't even know what to say to that. Not participating in a boycott against a company not funding Israel or having any relationship to Israel is somehow leading you to believe that this is the, quote, worst kind of people on the app. It is. I don't even know. And you know what? I've been streaming for what, a couple years now, following politics for a lot longer than that. This has got to be. I mean, this really does have to go up there as like one of the most deranged things I've read. And you know what? Tori has been getting a lot of shit for this. Apparently, she also made a quote tweet saying like "Free Palestine." Hold on, let me see if I can find that too, because that was another thing. Like people were pissed off about that. I guess I don't. People are pissed at her for not participating in a mass hysteric boycott bearing no relationship or anything to Israel. Like, they say, like, Starbucks is funding Israel based on nothing, okay? No source, no evidence. There's fucking nothing they have to substantiate that claim. It is probably one of the, like... This has got to be, like, one of the... It feels like a fever dream. Like, it really does feel like a fever dream. Because, like, there's literally nothing. I've tried to look into it. I've tried to find anything to substantiate the claim that Starbucks is funding Israel, or is, quote-unquote, funding a genocide. Like, there's nothing there. There's absolutely nothing I could find. The most I've seen has been, like, their owner was, like, the fucking... Israel was, like, the owner, I guess, Howard Schultz, or whoever the fuck his name is, was, like... is like Israeli himself, or maybe has like ties to Israel in some respect. But like, that's first off different from the company itself. But additionally, he isn't the CEO anymore. I don't think he has a relationship to the company. But regardless, this is all immaterial, given the fact that this doesn't even prove that Israel is sending money to Israel. Like, if you want to find that kind of evidence, you would need to have like look in their proxy statement. They're a publicly traded company. You can see the contributions they're making, or like look at anything, man. Like for like financial transactions related. Like there's nothing. There's literally nothing there. I don't know. It's a legit fever dream by the left. Um, I don't know. It honestly, with how persistent it has become. I almost feel like this is like I don't know, at this point it's like a gaslighting campaign, just given the fact that it's literally substantiated based off no evidence, but they want to persistently continue that narrative for the sake of just, you know, finding something to do, I guess, to like stick it to Israel. I don't know. Yeah, wow. um I guess I could go over. I was in a little disagreement here with Star about, I don't know. I don't like, the thing is, like, I think I was following this person too, but they blocked me now. But like, I just have like, I try not to base a lot of my beliefs off of shit I'm reading on Twitter. I try to do some research into it, especially claims that are pretty like bold. Um, and Yeah, man. I guess like with this person, like they're pretty left, I would say. Probably more left than I would be, but um yeah, I don't know. Basically saying it's toothless to say free Palestine after calling activist efforts to do something stupid. Um Apparently they were being called a Zionist and all this terrible shit um as a consequence of making that tweet I shared earlier. Um You don't even have to think the Starbucks boycott is effective, but you should be condescending. I mean, the boycott is literally not. This boycott is a product of mass illusion. It's a collective schizophrenic episode, basically, because Starbucks has zero ties to Israel. They may as well be fucking bashing their head, bashing their skull against the fucking brick wall. It would accomplish just as much as they are with boycotting Starbucks. And yeah, I got called a clown apparently. Because I said she's within her right. She is within her right to express her opinion. Um, and yeah, people calling her out on this doesn't necessitate them being literal vitriolic demons, referring to her as being a Zionist, insulting her, and all this other shit. She wasn't really that much of an asshole. She just said, "I'm gonna not buy Starbucks," or she doesn't care about the boycotts. So it's just so stupid. Yeah, and people were like being absolute dickheads to her. Yeah, but that's a Starbucks shit. That's not even the Houthi shit. That's a whole other thing. I don't know if I talked about that in stream though. Um, yeah, man. It's just it's a wild fucking thing out there. Hmm. Okay. Oh man, yeah. It's just I don't know, just really crazy. Okay. All right. With that out of the way, oh man, that's gonna be good. Hmm. Yeah, man. But it's not even just like. Well, it's not. Ugh. Sorry. I just like I start to think about what I'm about to watch, and I'm just like preparing for it mentally. It's not just like normal, like, or not even normal. Sorry. It's not just deranged people, like random people on Twitter. It is large accounts, with millions of subscribers, viewership, a lot of influence. Like yeah, um, Hassan Piker is a one of the largest Twitch streamers out there. Political streamers, that is actually, but he's been seeing a dip, I think, recently, but he's still like up there for like one of the most popular streamers, whatever. Um, yeah, he's talking about the strike here. I saw a couple seconds of this and thought it was gonna be a shit show, but let's take a look. Maybe I'm wrong.
The U.S. president is expected to make a statement tonight in the wake of the military strikes against Houthi targets in Yemen. The strikes are expected shortly with a series of carefully choreographed statements of the U.S., U.K., and other international allies.
Wait, sorry, there's a lot going on here.
follow. That came right after Britain is expected to join in the U.S. in carrying airstrikes on Houthi military positions in Yemen tonight. America and Western forces are taking stronger action once again against the trade routes that the Houthi military has been able to stop, instead of course, doing anything about the ongoing atrocities.
Oh my god. Oh man. Oh shit. This is so frustrating. The expectation, okay, from these like attacks on the ships, like, I don't even, if you honest to God think that this is going to stop the United States support of Israel, or it's going to meaningfully stop like the IDF from continuing the bomb, like, you are a massive dumb fuck if you believe that to be the case. Because the Houthis are the fucking Houthis, and the United States is the fucking United States. There's no shot. There's no shot. This is never, they have no leverage. The Houthis don't. They're not going to be able to, like, the United States military will just go in and stop the Houthis from, bottlenecking all world maritime commerce. Like, yeah, that's not, the onus is not going to be swung toward let's stop supporting Israel. That was never on the table. If that was the expectation the Houthis had, oh man, wow, whew, that's delusion on another scale, another universe.
Crimes against humanity in Gaza, because that's their ally. That's how it works. If you're looking for honesty, if you're looking for integrity, if you're looking for moral clarity in this situation, you will not find it. America operates on the boundaries of self-interest. That's it. It's that simple. Do not ever allow any of these liberal losers to come in here and try to muddy the waters and to talk about how progressive America is. If you have a situation where on the one hand you have genocide, on the other hand you have those who want to stop the genocide and are implementing a blockade.
They're not stopping the genocide. Point blank. They are targeting random ships in the Red Sea, including ships that have no ties to Israel, including ships that aren't even going towards Israel. They are just randomly targeting shit.
At the behest of stopping that genocide, America is attacking the side that's trying to stop the genocide. It's done. It's very obvious to me what is going on here. Okay?
What is obvious though? Like, I don't understand. Okay, well,
General Marks, what do you see in this video that we have?
Uh-oh, he has CNN up. He's gonna get triggered in like 5 seconds.
Have taken from the ground.
Oh, sorry, he's eating. My bad.
It's hard to say, right? It's multiple plumes of fire, looks like multiple explosions lighting up the sky. But what do you see when you watch this?
That looks like these are secondary explosions. That's significant. Frankly, if there aren't any Houthi fighters co-located with where those ammunition depots might be, or some of their capabilities might be located, I'm okay with that. Let's get rid of all of their inventory.
I'm sorry, but like, that's a whole different country, man. Like, is it okay if people start blowing up like random parts of America because there's ammo depots there? Like, what?
Well, if we initiated unprovoked conflict that disrupted maritime trade, then probably, yeah, actually, off the coast of like whatever side, yeah. I mean, yeah, right?
What are we talking about? You can't do that. You are the United States of America. You're like...
They started the fucking conflict. They are well within their right, internationally, to be retaliating against the Houthis. Like, 100%.
8,000 miles away from this area, and you've decided, like, I'm gonna blow up your weapons depot. Like, this makes no sense. Just did it, Bubba. I know.
Wait, are you kidding me right now? Is that the argument we're gonna go with? The fact that the United States mainland is, quote-unquote, 7,000 miles away from Yemen, therefore why the fuck are we in Yemen? Like, do you not understand the United States has global influence and shit all across the world, and embassies and bases and all this shit? What? Not only that, but, like, it's irrelevant, because, like, if for the free travel of commerce and trade to take place. There are certain routes that are probably going to be more important than others because it saves a lot of time and saves on costs with fuel and all that shit. And if there's a choke point somewhere, it doesn't matter how far away your country is, it's going to affect you. It can affect you. So it doesn't, that's like completely irrelevant.
You know what makes a lot of people's dicks hard to think like, oh, they're doing this and we're showing our might towards a population of people that we had been doing we had been genociding basically.
What? So he's getting mad at the fact that we might have been genociding Yemen.
And not directly genociding, indirectly genociding with a regional
Oh, indirectly, got it.
proxy. Like we
By
outsource.
proxy? What is that? So wait, wait, hold on. Let's run that back real quick.
Just did it, Bubba. I know it makes a lot of people's dicks hard to think like, oh, they're doing this and we're showing our might towards a population of people that we had been doing we had been genociding basically, and not directly genociding, indirectly genociding with a regional proxy.
Okay, I think I know what he's trying to say here. The fact that we send weapons to Saudi Arabia, who have used those weapons against Yemeni citizens, and this is being described as an indirect genocide or a genocide through proxy. Okay.
We outsourced.
I mean, literally has nothing to do with the Red Sea crisis, but okay.
Our genocide of the Yemeni population to Saudi Arabia. Okay, like it blows my mind that like Americans champion this kind of thing. You get no benefits from this, dog. They're not even doing this for your security. They're doing this.
Wait, hold on. Alleviating the bottleneck that the Houthis have created under the pretext of stopping genocide with maritime trade absolutely affects the entire world. It absolutely affects the United States. Is this a joke? Does he not know? Does he not understand trade or anything? Like, what?
It's a flex for Israel, basically.
A flex for Israel.
It's additionally odd when Americans are like, lol, they're going to find out why we don't have healthcare. And it's like, bro, you really think...
Yeah, I mean, like, that's a pretty cringe. I've seen some people on X who are like, you know, the Houthis won the coin flip. They deferred. And it shows a video of, like, ships and helicopters going across the fucking ocean or something. Yeah, that's pretty cringe. Yeah, 100% that is.
That's chill. You just said...
Is that
cool
chill?
that you don't have healthcare because America gets to aid and abet in genocide. Like, you think that's fun? You think that's a good thing? You just basically posted your L publicly. You are no different than, like, the dumbass hogs that we make fun of every day. Red Sea blockade Operation Prosperity. Oh, yeah, they already call it cleverly Prosperity Guardian.
You know that's... Wait, hold on.
Operation Prosperity Guardian. You know, they are defending prosperity. Done through...
Wait, are you... Oh, my... Oh, no. Oh, no. I don't know if I can make it through this video. How long is it? 33 minutes? Oh, shit. Oh, okay, I don't know, man. This is gonna be tough. Should I rename this stream? Because I don't think we're gonna get to the fucking Alex Jones debate. Oh, fuck me. Okay. So, firstly, getting triggered over the name of a military operation is very, and I cannot emphasize this enough, very weird. But the reason why it's called this is because Guardian was the name of the ship that, one of the first ships that were hijacked that initiated the conflict. Oh my god. Okay. I'll rename it later.
Commerce. Israel's brutal war on Gaza, followed by tension in the region, particularly in the Red Sea, has created a security dilemma for the U.S. On one hand, U.S. wants to avoid the expansion of the conflict into a regional war. On the other hand, Houthis, Ansar Allah, attacks on Israeli-linked ships pose a greater threat to the U.S.'s role as a global and regional maritime security guarantor. U.S. initially announced the expansion of CTF 152, 153, but when the Pentagon announced Operation Prosperity Guardian, it only had 10 members, missing the most critical and relevant, including KSA, Egypt, Oman, and UAE. Later, reports citing Pentagon officials came up that 20 countries have signed up for the OPG. but they don't want their names to be published. This was a self-destructive exercise even before the operationalization of the force. OPG aimed to send a strong message showcasing U.S. dominance of leadership as a maritime security guarantor, but failed at the very step when it signaled a lack of confidence in U.S.-led venture by regional players. This hasty announcement by U.S. officials shows their lack of coordination with its allies, but also a lack of a comprehensive strategy about what exactly the U.S. wants to achieve with this operation.
What? I don't know if I believe that. I don't know if I agree with that interpretation there. Because quite obviously what they want to achieve with this is to stop the bottleneck. Right? Like, that's pretty obvious.
Operation. I like that they were like, step aside, Saudi Arabia, we got this. We'll pick up where you left off. To the Houthis, a similar goal and a similar attitude remains. These guys have nothing. They just came out of a blockade and a genocide. Now they have sidestepped Saudi Arabia, America's guys, and are directly fighting with America itself. BNO News says the USA and the UK have started carrying out airstrikes against Houthi targets in Yemen, according to Voice of America. Event sources heavy
Wait.
itself. BNO News says the USA and the UK have started carrying out airstrikes.
Yeah? Wait, wouldn't that make sense, though? You're targeting military infrastructure. It's so funny, by the way. These guys get a pissy fit and shit their pants anytime, like, the U.S. or the West in any capacity strikes any civilian infrastructure to varying extents of reasonability. But then they get pissy over them targeting actual infrastructure, military, like, unequivocal military targets. Like, they get pissy about it.
Against Houthi targets in Yemen, according to Voice of America. Event sources heavy aircraft overflights in airspace in the city of Hodeidah. Yeah. In the wake of all of this, let it be known that America cares more about commerce being stopped than actual human lives being ended.
All right. Man, yeah, I don't know. I mean, you could honestly make an argument that, like, the bottleneck of maritime trade could potentially cost the lives of thousands, potentially millions of people, because I'm sure that a lot of the goods that are transported across the ocean and shit include things that, like, are medicinal or yeah, like, I'm sure that, and there's some countries that probably rely primarily on importing a bunch of shit, right? Whether it's food or whatever. So this could potentially cause, like, a cataclysm of turmoil for any developed or even developing nation.
By Israel. And the rest of the world sees it. They see it. And to every single person that says, like, around and find out, by the way, you're gross. 100%. If you legitimately think that Israel's actions are unacceptable, if you claim that you think that, boycott, divestments, and sanctions on the state of Israel is morally just and righteous, then you can't be criticizing the one group of dudes who, at least with the limited...
Nope, I already know what he's about to say. This is just these are the Houthis. They are, they have nothing to lose. They hate America. They just want to save the Palestinians. You can't be against the one time that action is taken to fight against the evils of imperialism and colonial powers, just because you get your fucking whatever a couple days later. Like, it's really fucking stupid. It's quite evidently stupid given the fact that they aren't just targeting things pertaining to Israel. They are targeting everything that they see that is Western aligned at any capacity.
Resources they have tried to implement it. When it comes to the operations of Ansar Allah, they are pursuing their interests despite a possible coordination with the strategic level with Iran. The ceasefire and high-level engagement of other parties and regional powers with Ansar Allah with respect to Yemen is viewed by Ansar Allah as the de facto recognition of their role as permanent players in Yemen. Post-ceasefire, Houthis are seeking a recognition at a much bigger level by linking the siege in the Red Sea for Israel-linked vessels with the siege on Gaza by Israel. Ansar Allah have provided it a political cove. This is one of the reasons why regional countries, especially the Muslim majority countries, are reluctant to be a part of any such operation, which in any ways is connected with Israel. This U.S.-led coalition is dominated by extra-regional players, because the Saudis, the UAE, like all of the other regional actors that are a part of the pro-Israel, pro-America, anti-Gaza coalition know how popular these actions are in the region. This is something that I've stressed quite a bit. This is why I said, like, Iran...
Wait, is there any, like, data to support that claim? And even if it were true, okay, why is this popularity relevant? I mean, in terms of re-election, like, if you're doing something that's unpopular, like, what, are we not pro-democracy anymore? Like, if the people want something, our political figures should represent us, right?
Doesn't need any extra permission to be able to, like, directly wage war with Israel at this point. That's important to understand, because getting so much popular support from the actual populations of the region spell trouble domestically for all of these individual countries. Why does the U.S. go so far for Israel? They're a huge liability at this point, because it's our military base.
It's not a liability. The whole entire world supports Israel, basically. The nation states and the people who don't support Israel, it's not a matter of them supporting Palestinians necessarily, although I'm sure there's a subset of people who are expressing their support based on the fact that they genuinely believe in the wrongs that Israel has done to Palestine. It's more so that they just hate the West and are using this as a proxy to vent out their hatred for the United States and Israel, as well as taking this opportunity to seize on attacking the West and in any capacity they see fit.
What do you mean? Weird takes from an American? I'm sorry, what's the weird? Awful takes, as usual, brainwashed. I love looking at a situation like this and being like, you know what this spells to me? America's definitely not bad. America's good, actually. If it wasn't America doing...
Yes, it is, actually. People are going to cope and cringe about it, but no, like, it's pretty evident in this specific circumstance with the Red Sea crisis that America is in the right. The Houthis initiate conflict. They are targeting indiscriminately ships and commercial ships around the Red Sea area, and are thus jeopardizing the maritime trade across the entire world. This is quite evidently a clear good and bad guy situation.
All this, if it was Russia, for example, or a foreign adversary, China, you would be losing your mind. You'd be like,
oh yeah, by the way, I think even like Eastern powers like China and Russia, like, they haven't even like stooped as far as to say, no, actually the Houthis are doing the right thing. No, they haven't even gone that far. I don't even think those nations are biting the bullet here. I think they're I think they're actually have been pretty quiet about this, if anything.
We have to nuke Beijing right now. That is what you would be saying. But when America's doing it, it's like, no, actually, you don't get it, dog. This is, I'm doing profound foreign policy analysis here, okay? Let me tell you. I somehow always magically find the exact triangulated position that America is good, actually. They're trying their best. You see two of some of the worst genocidal superpowers historically come together and, like, start bombing Yemen, a country that they were, dishing out their regional actors to do a genocide in. Shortly,
take a shot every time he says genocide.
After that genocide is ended, that blockade is ended, and you're like, I think the guys that were doing the genocide are the good guys here. I think, yeah. Genuine question: why does everyone complain about the supposed?
Yeah, I'm sorry, but like, I just want for once these people to define genocide. Like, not only do I want the definition of it from them, I want specifically how it's applicable. Because whenever you're in a conflict with another nation or a group of people, you need to sufficiently demonstrate to me that they are intentionally trying to eradicate that group of people. I think that needs to be demonstrated. You can't just throw around... I think we need to start being more harsh on the use of the word genocide. Because you can't just throw it out every time there's people dying in conflict. That's not, like, what genocide means.
In America is bad takes you have? Isn't there enough proof to show that they are bad? Yes, because they... You know what the reason why people get very mad at that? Because liberals fancy themselves to be, like, intellectually superior to the dumb hogs that they want to desperately not identify with. But
Hey, he has the same water thing that I do for my dog, right in the background. Right there. That's cool, I guess.
when it comes to foreign policy, if you are pro-American global dominance, you are identical to a hog. That's it. The difference between a hog...
I love how the dichotomy here is either you are 100% an American, like pro-America, fuck the West and all this. Like you're all like you are 100% all in on pro-America, pro the West and all this shit. If you disagree with them on anything, if you disagree with them on the Houthis, then you are pro-America. You're pro. Yeah. You have like no nuance, like zero nuance whatsoever. Like you are 100% in this group. Because keep in mind, like with me specifically, I can't speak for everybody. For me specifically, America has obviously done a lot of fucked up shit in the across the world. Not even just domestically, just across the world has America has done a lot of terrible shit. That said, it doesn't necessarily mean everything they do is fucked up or wrong. Like their response here with the Houthis, I feel, is totally reasonable and within international law to exercise their military operation. I mean, yeah.
And a liberal is that on its foundations, they still come from the same place, American exceptionalism, and America has to be the...
Again, like, why are we just painting with such a large brush? Honestly, even in the wake of this, I usually qualify my statements with lefties. Like, I'd say, like, never have I ever seen the left been this deranged before since October 7th. And it's not just, like, what they're saying, it's, like, the volume of shit I've been seeing regarding their commentary on the situation. And I recognize not all lefties are like this. I mean, like, Vosh, for instance, it seems pretty reasonable, at least on the Houthi situation. But, yeah, I can recognize that there's nuance here with, like, even within the left itself. Like, there's plenty of people who are probably, like, that probably perceive the Houthis' actions as, like, being, like in the wrong. But that same charitability doesn't seem to be extended towards liberals.
World police, just the hog says more slurs while conducting itself and making an argument. The liberal, on the other hand, that is not a hog, a Democratic Party voter, still has the same interest, still wants the same things to happen, but they don't say as many slurs. They think it's like kind of mean and rude to...
So I don't know what he's talking about. I really can't tell you. I guess the only thing I can think of is like he's differentiating liberals as being like polite and well manicured or whatever, like I don't know, versus like the more brash and keeping it real lefties. I have no idea what he's even saying here.
To champion genocide while simultaneously also saying that you're championing genocide.
Okay.
It's a kinder, gayer imperialism.
Got it.
The U.S. and the UK are now bombing Yemen so that the precious Israeli occupation regime can continue its genocide of Gaza, and the Western media and political class are cheering it on and celebrating the same ones.
Oh, hey, that's a squirrel.
And every nation on earth do everything for Ukraine. I guess the analog is basically...
Oh yeah, they're also talking about it's funny too because they'll like. Another ripple in the entire wave here is that the people who are against Palestine or in this conflict with Israel, but who are pro Ukraine, the more extreme lefties will say that you are actually racist because you only care about genocide, what's happening with white people. And I won't even describe what's happening in Ukraine or what had happened in Ukraine as a genocide. I don't think that that's the case either. In fact, it may even be because, like, when Russia initiated their operation, I shouldn't even say operation, invasion. When they initiated their invasion, like, they wanted to take back territory with the same logic that Hitler used with, blood and soil and all that shit. And he wanted to integrate the two, territories. So I don't see that as being like a genocide, though. I don't think that like reasoning for doing the invasion is like a genocidal reason. I don't think he's trying to eradicate Ukrainians. I think he's just trying to integrate them into his own nation. But regardless, you can make a lot of. I have plenty of critiques to levy against Putin and Russia and all that shit, 100%. But even I probably wouldn't even describe it as a genocide. They have their own yeah, well, that's a whole another topic. But anyway, yeah, lefties, at least the more extreme lefties, will claim that you are racist because you don't necessarily agree or on the side of Palestine in this conflict, but you were with Ukraine. Yeah.
Like, what would we do in this situation? You know what I mean? Like, America already did this against Russia to a certain degree, what Yemen is doing. But if, like, Estonia tried to do this to Russia, right, as Russia was, like, blowing up Ukraine, everyone was celebrated.
Man, it really is, like, there's zero thought in anything. Like, it's just the same talking points, like, that he reads on Twitter. There's no critical thought. You can clearly see that a lot of his ideology is refracted through the prism of what he sees online, and as a consequence, you get a purely ideological, like, commentary on anything, on everything, excuse me. But, like, you don't, like, see, like, any research. You don't see any, like, any of that shit. Like, no critical thought. It's all, like, everything is served to, like, fulfill his own ideological narrative, as opposed to seeking out the truth or whatever. Because, like, for me, like, and I try to do this too, and to varying levels of success, but, like, I try to, like, whenever something is happening, I try to distance myself from, like, the narratives that are being propagated online and try to, like, look into what's going on and suss out what I believe the truth to be. And disentangling those two, like, ecosystems can be difficult, for sure. Because everybody has, like, preconceived biases and all that. But I try to challenge myself and think, like, what if I'm wrong, or can I be wrong? What would I be wrong in? Like, what specifically am I wrong on? And then go from there and just try to build, like, establish what the truth is and what reality is, and then work your way from there.
Remember, like, oh, thank God there's someone out there that's, like, doing the righteous thing. Do a poll of Americans tonight. Ask them if they know who the Houthis are, where they live, why we are bombing them, and whether the president has the authority under the Constitution to bomb them. Go. Yeah.
Like, he's just reading Twitter shit. He's not like reading into the situation itself. I mean, maybe he has on his off time, or maybe he does at a separate point of this video or in the streams, but, like, there's just, like, he just reads what confirms his, narrative. Like, it's confirmation bias.
Percent of GOP voters support bombing Agrabah, the city from Aladdin. America has a ton of blockades on countries that aren't at war. It's not at war with. Yeah. The statement from Biden on the airstrikes in Yemen, Gaza, of course, not mentioned once.
Why would he mention Gaza?
Statement from President Joe Biden on coalition strikes in Houthi-controlled areas in Yemen. Today, at my direction, U.S. military, together with the United Kingdom and with support from Australia, Bahrain, Canada, and the Netherlands, successfully conducted strikes against a number of targets in Yemen used by Houthi rebels to endanger freedom of navigation in one of the world's most vital waterways. The strikes are in direct response to unprecedented Houthi attacks against international maritime vessels in the Red Sea, including the use of anti-ship ballistic missiles for the first time in history. These attacks have endangered U.S. personnel, civilian mariners, and our partners, jeopardized trade, and threatened freedom of navigation.
That's the thing he focuses on.
Why are the Houthis doing this? Is a question I would love to ask. Like, why are they implementing a blockade? Why has America killed more than they have? You can't just meme.
Wait, they killed what? Didn't they kill, like, 10 people? I mean, like, that's... Any death is tragic, obviously, but they were the ones to initiate the conflict. Right? Like, the 10 versus 0. I mean, like, the United States has a... It's weird, too, now that I'm connecting a couple dots in my head here, that, like, they'll say that, like, that they're stopping genocide, right? That the Houthis are stopping genocide. But at the same time, he just acknowledged that, like, the United States has more blood on its hands. I'm assuming he means pertaining to this Red Sea crisis. So, wouldn't that suggest the claim that they aren't stopping genocide and they're actually losing? Like, the Houthis are losing to the United States military and like, other nation states' navies? Like,
away from the Houthis have done. They've been trying to topple the Yemeni government for 30 years, of which had normal relations in the Middle East. Why aren't we talking about Iran sponsoring Shia militant groups all over the Middle East to rise up against Sunni governments, which are much more in favor of normalization with Western powers in Israel? Not that Sunnis are innocent in killing Shiites, but this is a 1,000-year conflict that's not going to change. I'm done. I can't do this. What do you mean, dude? Normalizing with Western powers and Israel? What are we talking about? Hello? Are you familiar with Western powers in Israel and what they're doing? You have America's boot shoved so far.
Wait, what?
Western powers in Israel.
10,000 children killed in nearly 100 days of war? Where was that source from? I wouldn't, I guess, be entirely surprised if that's true, but where is that actual information being taken from? 10,000 children killed. Relief web? That looks similar. I don't even know what the fuck this is. India Times. That's not it either. I specifically want the one that they use. What the fuck is that? These are all reported by, like... Is this, like, real, though? Oh, wait, this might be it. Save the Children? Yes, it is. Save the Children. .net. Oh my god. Why is this happening? Why is this not working? Let me guess, is this going to take that number from the Gaza Health Ministry? Ah, there it is. The latest data from the Ministry of Health in Gaza shows more than 10,000 of Gaza's 1.1 million children, or 1% of the total population, has been killed since an attack on Israel on the 7th of October, and assault on Gaza that has followed. Okay. So the source is okay, got it. The source used here, and I'm not saying this is necessarily incorrect, I'm just saying that it is biased because it's run by the same group that is it's run by the same group that is fighting Israel. So these figures are literally coming directly from Hamas. Okay. It could be right. Maybe it is right. Maybe it's accurate. But it's just like, it's obviously, just definitely biased there.
Israel and what they're doing. You have America's boot shoved so far up your ass that it's coming out of your mouth when you have this conversation.
Couldn't we just say the same thing about you, dog? Like, you have Hamas, you are gargling Hamas and Houthi cum right now because it happens to overlap with your specific ideology that America is evil and the worst thing to happen to humanity. Like, can we just say the same shit about you?
You just immediately take it for granted. Like, your standard of modernity is how well they get along with two imperial powers in the
Like, we can make the same criticism against you. Like, you're just as ideologically driven.
Region. Two destabilizing forces in the region that have killed more than anyone else. That is unimaginable. I know it's taken me 11 days to yell at a chatter, but god damn, what a idiotic approach to the subject, dude. That's insane. That's your standard? Wow, I can't believe how good Saudi Arabia is in the region.
All right, what else we got here? Is he going to be wilding out for a couple minutes here?
And really think about your output here.
Oh, he's still reeing. He's still mad about this chatter.
Neocon, the subject.
Okay, sorry. Neocon.
As real humans, you only care about the civilians in the Middle East, the Muslims, whether they be Shia or Sunni, it doesn't matter. You only care about them when
this is an entire virtue signal, by the way.
You can use them as a talking point against whatever foreign adversary of the United States of America or Israel, because it's an extension of United States of America's foreign policy interests. Don't come to me with this bullshit. You are no different than the Republican that says, what about our homeless veterans when talking about how immigration must...
He's having a schizophrenic episode now. Like, what is he talking about? The analogy there isn't even applicable. That's domestic affairs versus foreign affairs.
Stop. That's it. 2 principles. Let me explain to you. 2 principles that you should keep with you, coming from a person who's Turkish, okay?
Uh-oh.
When you look at a
He's
situation
pulling the minority card here. We gotta listen to him.
in the Middle East, you look at what the local government is and who the Western forces are. Never align with the Western forces. An example I tell you all the time is the Turkish coup d'etat.
Oh,
A coup
shit.
occurred in Turkey. The American-backed forces in that situation was the terrorist cell of Fethullah Gulen. He still lives in the Poconos, by the way. The Muslim cleric Fethullah Gulen had aligned with the CIA. Him and Recep Tayyip...
Dude, this is just... Okay, can we get back to, like, the whole Yemen shit?
Take home with you. All of a sudden, magically, you are above on your foreign policy analysis. You're going to be better off than 90% of people that look at the situation.
Cool.
I hate when people come in here and try to talk about implementing stability by the metrics of who aligns with America's interests better. And we're having...
I don't know if that was the... I don't know if that was the standard set. I mean, not... Whatever.
this conversation at the eve of, like, America and England bombing Yemen. Also, the...
Yeah, but, like, that wasn't for no reason. They initiated the conflict. The Houthis did. So... Yeah?
sectarian point falls apart when you know Hamas ain't Shia. Exactly. That's so funny that people are like, oh, dude, the sectarian conflict has been ongoing for 1,000 years. And it's like, really? That's so crazy because both the Houthis and also Iran are currently backing the Sunni movement, that the rest of the Sunni leadership do not have the balls.
Dog, we're only 15 minutes into a 33-minute video. Are you... And I skipped some parts.
To take a stand again.
How can he drag this on more?
My God. Listen, the Houthis may use child soldiers to force women to be brides, but they aren't against the Western hegemony. Brother, why do you think this is a good talking point? There is not a single instance where, oh my God, the people of Yemen are starving and can't. Yes, the people of Yemen are starving, not because of the Saudi blockade that was implemented that caused the worst famine at the...
Okay.
That's really cute that you say that, but I literally voted for Joe Biden and Hillary Clinton and will most likely vote for whoever is not Donald Trump. So shut the up. No, I am an
Wait, so then you're supporting genocide, right? Because, like, you're voting for Biden, who supports Israel and is directly funding Israel. So then you support genocide by extension, by your own logic, right?
incrementalist, and I do end up voting for the lesser of two evil every time. You just are a baboon who has been primed into thinking that I'm some, like, dumb America bad guy who literally is some, like, tanky Maoist.
I mean, you are, though. Your shit and your commentary about Russia invading Ukraine and, like, bragging that, like, day 500, no invasion, and then they did invade, and then you retracted that statement, and then you, yeah. So if you aren't simply just America bad, and you're placating to that kind of ideology for the sake of growing your audience and all that, like, wow, I simply do not believe that. I think first and foremost, you're interested in clout, and popularity, as well as just, I guess, being anti-America. Yeah, I don't know. Just a lot of your rhetoric and all that shit has really aligned with the anti-America crowd.
Third worlders or whatever the someone told you, and that's why you came in here and said that. Okay, I talk about local organizing. I work with local organizers regularly. I have community leaders in this community. What have you done? You're probably alt-right 3.5 months ago in the forums, doxing your favorite e-celebrity or whatever, and now you're in here portraying yourself.
Oh my God, he's molding over the Twitch leaks.
As a liberal because you watched a guy do a debate one time and it changed your world. That's how little your convictions are. You have no convictions whatsoever. That's you lose sight of whatever you believe in. W. Con dudes, you're doing the thing I told you. I do not give a shit about their...
Okay, is this literally just him arguing with chat?
To genocide. Stop saying my hate group is better than the other. What is your solution? Chatter, who has been in here since 2008, who I'm glad hasn't gotten a lobotomy yet, I guess. What is your solution to the situation? Because you're surely celebrating...
That says created in 2008, dog. That doesn't say following since 2008.
Blowing up the Yemeni's population. It seems like you like that, so you're championing that. Don't sit here and act like you have a better solution. You can just sit there and say, oh, it's my hate group is better than the other.
All right, cool. Anything else?
Solutions of America and Britain in pushing Saudi Arabia and the UAE to declare war on us in 2015, Yemen would not have been able to today carry out its religious, moral, and humanitarian duty in supporting Palestine. There is no doubt that America and Britain today regret their previous follies, and soon they will realize that direct aggression against Yemen was their greatest folly.
What? That's a fucking absurd statement. Engaging with the Houthis was the greatest folly in their history? Okay. I guess we're just forgetting the Vietnam War.
Of their history. The thing is, like, they do talk a big game, but honestly, they follow through on it. I mean, they're crazy. I don't think there's a distraction from the ICJ chatters. They've been gearing up for this for a while. This is Yahya Sari, spokesman of the...
Like, look at, like, what's on his Twitter. Like, this is the shit he engages with on a daily basis. It's all obviously, like, tanky-aligned shit, and he has the audacity to claim that he isn't a tanky.
Yemen's armed forces... If we look at the crimes being committed in Gaza, this is from December 19th. They're similar to the ones that were committed against us in the past 9 years. Market people while it's the same aggressor.
I don't really care about this.
The American we are dick ride America. You're gonna find like Kurdish.
All right, what else?
We need to glass Iran, my friend.
Whoa, okay, you know what? All right, I'm done. I'm done with that shit. Okay. Jesus Christ, man. Whew. Alright, give me a minute here. I'm gonna go, give my dog some food.
Joe Biden, the U.S.
Shut up. Alright, I'll be right back.
Eyes. Far apart, close, average.
I think a normal, average.
Okay, average eyes.
But they were a bit sunken into the recesses of his ocular cavity.
Deep sunken up.
It's like a raccoon. Like
Beady
when they
eyes.
sit back. His eyes were doing that. And no eyelids.
So they're into his skull, no eyelids. What about his nose?
No nose. You know.
No nose.
Why would he have a nose?
Oh, he was smiling.
The man who mugged you was smiling.
But he didn't have lips. So it was kind of like a perpetual smile at sorts. It's kind of like, yeah, like that.
This kind of thing.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
No lips, why not? Why would he have lips? Is this the man who mugged you?
Wow. You just did that just now? This is amazing.
You know what would be fun? See him with skin.
Snap your W-2 and file your taxes 100% free with TurboTax Free Edition. Roughly 37% of taxpayers qualify. 1040 and limited credits only. Get the TurboTax app now.
Hello, hello, hello. Whew. What's going on? Ooh, beans. Alright, sorry. There I am. I want to give a shout out really quick to Dreamy, who is responsible for the music that we've been listening to this whole stream. I think it's, they make some bangers. So, just want to give a shout out to them. Dreamy on YouTube. Let me see real quick. Here's their webpage or their channel. Definitely a really good, producing really good music there. So, want to give a shout out to them. Also, you can find them at these different links here on Spotify, Instagram, or I guess some submissions there. But they also have, I think, a Patreon. You can donate as well. So, just want to give a shout out really quick to them for the music we are listening to. Alright. Not sure how much longer I can go for streaming purposes. Like I said, I'm going to be getting a tattoo later, so gotta deal with that. Yeah, I'm gonna be leaving. I have an appointment for the tattoo in a couple hours, so I'll definitely. But I also have to do some other shit before that, so. Man. Yeah, man. Well, I guess the main thing that has been taking place the past week was the Houthi shit, and seeing the response from some people has been wild, to say the least. Yeah. There's there's a couple games today, playoff games. Let me see. So we got a game today, alright? We got the Brownies and the Texans. Can I get a preview up? Let's see here. Nice. Yeah, we got the Browns at the Texans. So I'll make my bold predictions for the game, okay? For each of these games, actually. Browns at the Texans. I mean, I'm gonna go Browns just because I'm supporting them, but also because I think that they have a good shot of winning. Joe Flacco's doing great. The Texans, I mean, we both are experiencing injuries, but I think overall the Browns have a much better defense, and that's going to really create issues for Stroud. So I think that the Browns win that. Dolphins at the Chiefs. I mean, that game's going to be a fucking snowstorm, but I think the Chiefs win that one. Dolphins cannot handle cold weather, and they obviously, this is going to be a blizzard conditions or whatever, so it's going to be especially bad. It's going to be bad for both teams, but we'll see what happens. But I think that the Chiefs win that. Hopefully the Dolphins win, but we'll see. Steelers and Bills. That game's also going to be a blizzard, and I think that the Bills can win that one. I think they'll win for sure. The Steelers are not a good team, but they've somehow been able to manage themselves to get into the playoffs with some help of other teams losing and stuff. But I think the Bills can win that one. The Cowboys, or the Packers at the Cowboys. Yeah, I think that I could go an upset here. I think the Packers can upset the Cowboys. The Cowboys have a great defense, but the Packers have a good offense. And yeah, I don't know. I just think an upset could happen there for sure. The Rams at the Lions. I think I'm gonna have to take the Rams, because as much as like the Lions are like on a huge momentum thing here, I think they might be a little bit over aggressive, and the Rams could definitely use that to their advantage. Sean McVay has that experience in the playoffs, so does Matt Stafford, and so does all these other players. I think that can take the edge for them. And then the Eagles at the Bucs. I think that the Buccaneers win that, because the Eagles have been sliding backwards for a very long time, on defense especially. Those are my bold predictions. Sorry, I'm just doing some other shit here. Yeah. So it's gonna be a fun day for sure for these playoff games. I don't think there is much else. We're not gonna have time at all to do the fucking Alex Jones debate there. We just won't. So we'll have to do that maybe on Thursday or next Saturday. But yeah. Alright, well, I think that's about it for today. Got a good stream today. And, I will see you guys next, either Thursday or Saturday. Probably next Saturday, but we'll see. I don't know, maybe. But yeah, that's about it. Alright, I'll see you guys next week.